Welcome back to another episode of Day One Radio right here on Live Hip Hop Daily. I'm Maurice Garnett in the building with my man BP, Brandon Peters. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, what's good, man? We ain't been here in a couple weeks, man. Glad to be back in the building. Glad to be back at Live Hip Hop Daily. Appreciate y'all for watching and listening. Make sure that you subscribe, rate, and review, whether you listen on Spotify, iHeartMedia, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, whatever you on. Make sure you subscribe so you can get every show as soon as we drop it, man. And you know, around here we like to tell stories that haven't been told, to tell stories that have been told the correct way. And man, this brother, I've been following him for a little bit, man, and I like his spirit, man. What he put into his music is dope, and it's I don't want to say it's rare. I'll say it's not rare that you hear young cats that are thoughtful and about something, but it's rare that it's publicized. Put it to you like that, man. We got one and only Translee in the building. What's that?
Yeah, man. Happy to be here, man. Happy to be here.
Sure, definitely. So Huntsville, Alabama.
All the way from it, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I think the first rappers I ever heard of from Alabama was Dirty.
Dirty,
Remember
yeah.
Dirty?
Man, they
Hit the
hard,
flow?
too. Yeah, hit the flow, 6D creeping.
Yeah.
6D creeping,
a Cadillac. Yeah, nah, Dirty is like some of the people that I definitely came to love their music and their whole movement. I be feeling like sometimes whenever artists like that get them major deals, it like kind of like change their like their stuff before they got that like big deal was so dope, and it just seemed like whenever like the major labels got involved, it just seemed like they kind of like messed their vibe up.
They got to package them a certain. I think that goes into like the labels not really knowing who they are, but what they did.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and trying to package that to people that don't quite know what they really coming from.
Right.
I also feel like though during that time, man, it was artists that whatever their independent album was or their first album was sounded one way, and for some reason cats felt like they had to switch it up completely a sound for their second album. So you didn't say it was just doing the same
because you know your first album blow you up, and then now like, man, I got access to Timberland. I can call for real now.
Yeah.
I'm finna go get all these niggas and just put a
gumbo.
A gumbo in it, and it ain't. And you leaving your homie who did your whole first album, he's still back at the crib. Like, you ain't getting on none of my. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like you know, it's definitely dope whenever you stay rocking with the same team. Like I've been rocking with the same producers. Like the man that produced most of the project that I got coming out soon, Freedom Summer, he produced most of the songs on my first mixtape, No Translee. So
that's rare.
Yeah,
that's definitely rare. Man, tell us, growing up, man, in Huntsville, like what was your first introduction to hip hop where you was like, oh, this is something I want to do?
Man, so I'm gonna say this. Kanye West was one of my biggest influences in the fact that he was kind of like the first rapper that I heard that was huge, but he wasn't like necessarily like a gangster rapper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because I wasn't a gangster growing up, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like I like hung around him, but like I wasn't necessarily that. So like I like gangster rap. I like listening to rappers talk about how much dope they sold. That's dope. But like literally being able to like connect with an actual artist, and like fully resonate and be like, damn, like I can not that I had the same story as him, but I can speak my story and feel comfortable speaking my story because he spoke his story and it worked. So now it's like people are more open to, you know what I'm saying? And then I think that opened the door for a lot of people like J. Cole to be able to come in and tell his story and the way he went. Because at that time, whenever he broke through, it was shit. You talking about DMX, Jay-Z,
he was on Rockefeller
50
with,
Cent, you know what I'm saying?
Like,
we like talking about some hardcore ass shit, and then Kanye came in with his own vibe and his own, so like that really was the moment that was like, yo, this is what I'm.
It was all an evolution, because the irony is like 50 Cent came in being himself,
right?
Which was something, and DMX really came in and changed the game, just being him, because everything else was just party before that.
Right.
So yeah, that's the irony that those were the evolution. But that's dope that he influenced you and allowed you to do that. So
it's like whenever people people kind of be banging on Kanye now, like I ain't really I
rightfully so.
Yeah, right. Like I don't agree with everything Kanye said, but like I really just kind of try to hold to the old vibes and what I took from that, but
Gotcha.
Moving on. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, you gotta take the good stuff.
Yeah,
for sure. So when did you realize that you wasn't gonna get popping staying in Huntsville?
Oh man, well I left Huntsville. You know what I'm saying, like a while back. Like me and my manager Chris Hunter, like we came here like back in like 2009. Interning with Collipark Music and the whole come up, you know what I'm saying. So this was a whole nother grind. Like I've been left Huntsville, but you know what I mean. It's a good place to go back to, and it's a great place to be from because one thing that I noticed, like growing up there, the things that I learned growing up there kind of make it so I can adjust pretty much anywhere.
Like what?
You know what I'm saying? Like just my vibe about everything. Like it's almost like Huntsville is almost like a small Atlanta or like it's a small city where everybody got like a big city mindset. So like things that like you come to a big city and like that may surprise other people. It's just what didn't surprise me because like I've been seeing that shit in Huntsville my whole life. You know what I mean? So. So it's just it's a dope place to be from, and like right now it's booming on some whole other shit. Like all these big companies coming there. Big is like one of the top 8 best places to live in like America, or like most highest economic status or some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like it got like
just built that new museum out there that everybody talking about.
Well, I think that was in Montgomery.
Okay.
But yeah, man.
So like coming to Atlanta from, Huntsville, just like coming to Atlanta from the outside period, do you think that was an advantage or, did it take you a while to gain your foot? And, because everybody had different stories about coming from somewhere else and trying to get, quote unquote, put on.
Man, what I tell people all the time, man, like somebody will come to your city, it's not even from your city, and will go further than people that's been living in that city their whole life. And the reason why I feel like me personally is because like whenever we moved here and it was like we was running around interning and doing stuff for Collipark and we'd be in the streets and hear like, yo, it's open mic here, it's open mic there, it's open mic everywhere. We was going everywhere because we don't have no feeling about no part of the city. Like, right. But a nigga that grew up here would be like, man, I ain't going over there fucking with it. I ain't never went over on that side of town. I ain't going to that open mic. Or you know what I'm saying? I've seen that. I've seen people be like, I ain't really going to that. Like people that grew up here because they know the city so much where it's like I ain't going. I have no business over there. Or I ain't never hung out over there.
Wow.
Me, I didn't know where the hell I was at. Like when we was at fucking Libra. When Libra was, I don't know if Libra still popping, but like back in the day whenever Waka was first pop, like we don't know where the hell we at. We just there's certain DJs in this spot. You need to go in there and fuck with them. We in there. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't care where we was at. So I feel like a whole lot of people come from other places to the Atlantas, the New Yorks, and the LAs, and the Bostons. You know what I'm saying? Nah. But they come from all over, man, and kind of take over. And it's definitely people that pop in the city too. That's from the city too, definitely, because you can see that here in Atlanta more than anywhere.
Definitely.
But I just think that coming from another place helped me personally come up and still, come up here.
You were a little, younger than some of the cats that we saw get on from Alabama early. So was it a lot of when you were getting out and about and taking meetings and all that was like, oh, you from Alabama? And you rap?
Man, all the time, man, all the time. Like people think people in Alabama still riding on horses.
Wow,
bro. Like people think that it's a game, but like really, Alabama, we've had artists like Dobie, you know what I'm saying, like Jackie Chan, like we've had artists that
Rich Boy,
Rich Boy, like
first Rich Boy album was my shit.
Yeah, oh yeah, man, shout out to Rich Boy, Polo the Don, like them niggas did their thing on that first Rich Boy album, but it's really, man, we just gotta break through, man. Like I feel like, and I was just talking to somebody just the other day about this. Like Alabama doesn't really necessarily have like its own identity yet. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like kind of like Cali, you know the vibe there. You know Cali vibe whenever you see it. New York, you know New York, a New York background whenever you see it. Atlanta, you pretty much know the Atlanta. You don't really have whenever you think Alabama, you can't really place a vibe there, and I think that's what kind of maybe keeping us from kind of flourishing. You know what I mean? So.
Because Alabama sound can give you a lot, because you got an artist like you, then you got somebody like Rich Boy,
and then also
Yellow Wolf,
and then also YBN Amir's from Birmingham.
Yeah,
He's blown all the way up,
which is crazy because it was Bay Area cats that was telling me about him before anybody.
Nah,
else.
he definitely got a
I
Cali
just
vibe.
assumed that until I started looking up and listening, he was like, "Oh, you from Alabama too?"
He definitely got a whole Cali vibe. So
I mean, one of my favorite rappers right now from Alabama, M.A.O.T.P.
Oh wow!
I fuck with Peasy.
And see, I just got put it on to him, and I haven't really got to dive into his music,
Peasy,
man. But
Peasy
definitely
hard,
shout out to him. Shout out to
Peasy is
Peasy.
hard, definitely for sure.
Dope.
For you, man, do you think that it's that it's not an identity because the cities are so different? Like Birmingham is really like nothing like Montgomery, like at least from outside looking in.
Man, I think.
Mobile.
Yeah, I mean, I think, but pretty much the vibe of the people are the same. Like,
Okay.
Like I was just in Birmingham, and I went and got in the studio 2 or 3 nights ago, man. And I was kicking it with some people I never kicked it with before, and I was just like, they vibe was the same as the homies, like the exact same as my homies from back home, man. Like the exact same.
Yeah.
The city's different, but it's just. Alabama cats, man, you just know you can spot them anywhere, man.
Yeah.
But it's just like we ain't necessarily got that across to the masses.
Gotcha. You spoke on your mother passing before and how that kind of pushed you into taking music more seriously. Kind of break that down and how that was, I guess, kind of like an unlikely inspiration to push forward.
Right, yeah, like I always say, like if she wouldn't have died, I don't even know if I'd be rapping. Because really, like I feel like after she passed, like I didn't do too much crying, do a whole lot of mourning. Like I lived like within like that next month or two, me and one of my homies, Shot Gerard Miller, we was in the studio all the time. Like literally, like that's something I just put like all my like extra time into. You know what I mean? And that kind of became a thing, and then of course whenever I met Chris, we just came here to the A and just started rolling. You know what I mean? So I really just needed like a release, man, and I got good at like that's why my music. Yeah, I don't never really just rap for no reason. Like you'll never see me just make a song just for no reason. I'm not even into it to like do that. Like I really only rap when I have like something to say. You know what I mean?
So what brought you to Atlanta? Was it like just the idea of opportunity, or did that internship with Collipark bring you to Atlanta?
Well, I mean, really, Chris used to come here like a lot and like go to like conferences, and we had went to the Atlantis Music Conference, and I don't know if y'all remember that used to happen.
Y'all remember that Atlantis at the hotel,
Center Stage? Yeah, they used to have a stand at the hotel, but we was there, and it was our second year going, man, and we ended up running into Collipark randomly at like the end, like the last day, the end of the conference. Like literally, we met the person that you come there for. You know what I'm saying? You come there to meet a nigga like that. You know what I'm saying? And we met him, and this at the time where Soulja Boy was blazing. So it was like we was like, oh shit. So we like went up to him. Chris had like his resumes and shit, like cause like Chris tried to get like a fucking internship. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, this nigga was like, man, most niggas come to me with CDs. Like this nigga got a resume. What the fuck? So and like I'm like the rapper, like and like we was just looking green as fuck, man. Like, but he was like, yo, man, if y'all want to come down and intern, this is Mr. College. This is like he was the man. He still is, but at this time he was like on top of the world, and he was like, man, this is probably like around October, and he's like, yo, shit, if you want to come intern, come around January. So we like, hitting him up. Then like it was crazy because like around like January, Chris was hitting them up and they weren't answering the phone. Like we literally got he literally looking at apartments, finna just move down there on like blindly move down there and literally. Niggas locking in apartments, they still haven't even answered the phone yet. And like we living in Alabama still, you know what I'm saying? So niggas finally answered, and Chris got the internship, and kind of like we just, and like the internship here, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like this just basically, nigga, y'all niggas finna do everything, everything, any and everything. So man, but that was the best thing that we could have ever done because we got to come in with somebody that's like an OG in the game, somebody that know like, man, ain't no shorts in this game. This game ain't gonna give you nothing that you ain't worked for. So it was like we was having to just kind of earn our own respect.
What happened to make him want to start supporting your music? Because I mean, you coming in as an intern, that means like you're gonna be working under me. But it's like I remember one time when I met him, like that's how I got put on to your music. He was like riding for you hard at this concert, like, man, Translee the next thing, Translee the next, he this, he that. You know what I'm saying? So like, what happened to make him want to start pushing your artistry?
Man, that was crazy because it took a while. Like we was there for, you know what I'm saying, probably like a year before he. Like I took a year of just getting laughed at and joked on, like not because like I was always kind of like the like goofy one around, like always like, oh man, what the fuck Translee finna do today, you know what I'm saying? So like around like the label, but I think one thing that we did, we kind of made ourselves like indispensable, like we like became that, like where the fuck Translee and Chris at, like, you know what I'm saying? So we like became that. But one day I did this rap over the old J-Rock beat, over this old J-Rock and Lil Wayne beat that dun. And Collipark heard that, and he was like, he like told Chris like, yo man, I think, he like hit up Chris and was like, yo man, I think I'm gonna fuck with Trans, man, like on some like not too heavy, but like because at that time I didn't have a fan in the world, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have like, I was literally just coming out of Huntsville with me and my homie Gerard. We would rap, but we didn't really push our shit. We would just like give it to the people around the neighborhood and shit. You know what I'm saying? We didn't really push it, so it was like whenever he heard that, so we did that World Star video. That who Translee? Yeah. Who's Translee? So we did that, and I remember like a big wig in the industry hit him up about that and was like, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing with him?" And then that's when he was like, "Man, I'm gonna go ahead and put some more bread behind this little nigga, man. See what he talking about." So that kind of started that whole little, you know what I'm saying, thing off. And like, you know, like we you know, parted ways not because of dispute or anything, just, you know, just like, you know, me and Chris kind of went on and kind of pushed DNC into a whole direction, man, and we've been rocking ever since, all the way up to working with the King of the South, Tip. So
yeah,
it's dope.
Well, since you brought that up, man, how did the whole thing come about with Tip? And it feels like it was like at the perfect time for both of you guys, right?
Yeah, man. It was dope, man. Really, it's always like God always throw us a life raft, man. Like we done had a life raft every time, man. But and it's always like me and Chris like tag teaming off each other. But this particular time, like my last project, M.A.O.T.P Part 1, which is out on all streaming platforms.
Right.
Before it was done, Chris sent it to the Chris had the same barber as Tip, so Chris gave it to the barber. He was like, "Yo, next time Tip get his haircut, like give him the CD or whatever." And so she ended up getting it to one of Tip's cousins. And making a long story short, heard it, loved it, called us up like the next 2 days, like, "Yo, I'm trying to link." And we've been rocking ever since. I ain't left ever since. Like,
gotcha.
Yo, I'm trying to get to where you at. So
like, what made that like the ideal situation for you? Because like, you know, going over there, it seemed like Hustle Gang was crowded as hell. You know what I'm saying? I remember like being at Tree Sounds with y'all. And like I had the writers camp. It was like, man, y'all deep as hell. Y'all deeper than the first roster of Grand Hustle. You know what I'm saying? So like, what about that situation, you know what I'm saying, attracted you?
Well, To be honest, it was like a natural thing. Like, you know, in the beginning, like I didn't know that it was gonna be like that. You know what I mean? But you know, it was like a natural situation because it's real family oriented at Grand Hustle. So it's like a really good vibe to where it's like, you know, all these artists kind of rock with the camp. You know what I mean? So it was just a natural situation. Like it didn't feel forced or like didn't feel like it was, you know, too much going on. Like, you know, we like definitely was like walking up in some places deep as fuck. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, look, you like I think everybody like ain't nobody really bumped shoulders. Like it wasn't. It didn't never feel like it wasn't enough space, man. Like everybody kind of always had a vibe, and then you know Tokyo kept everything smooth and copacetic. You know what I'm saying? Like with like everybody. So shit was dope.
So what's the process of like standing out in a situation like that?
Well, I feel like my music will stand out in any type of crowd. Like I feel like out of Hustle Gang, like they kind of branded me as a more conscious artist. So you know, I take that proudly. You know what I mean? Like however you feel about my music, that's cool. You know, I'm still working on that. You know what I mean? Like I'm about to put out Freedom Summer.
You keep saying that. Do we have a date?
No, I actually do not have a date. I actually do not have a date. I was kind of
hoping that you would tell our listeners a date.
I do not have a date.
Before you told anybody else.
I do not have a date, man. But what I'm trying to just wrap up is just a couple more visuals, because the project's done, man. To be honest, but just I'm trying to get a couple. And I actually just shot one the other day. I'm really probably like another visual and like another very small one that already in the works. You know what I mean? I got a big record with Tip that I'm trying to get this visual shot for, man, before I put it out, man. Because to be honest, man, if the visual is not right, man, it's just not gonna be right. You know, as far as
that's how a lot of people hear a song for the first time. They see the video.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, and like I don't like when I'm promoting my album to be trying to create visuals during that time. Like vlog videos are cool, but it's like trying to do all that create. I'd rather have it all where we can be like, we got 5 videos ready to go when the project drops, so we can be like bam, 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 instead of, you know what I'm saying, it's just, you know what I'm saying, this behind the scenes shit that I'm giving y'all, man. But soon though, like I'm not saying that I'm about to, like I'm thinking August, September, you know what I mean?
August, September.
Yeah.
What was it?
I'll let y'all hear that record too.
Okay, for sure. You you know, you said you really don't record or write if you don't have nothing to talk about. So what was the creative process like for this album, and did it differ at all from the previous projects that you dropped?
Well, the writing process is pretty much the same. Like I kind of write when I'm inspired, you know, like, you know, unless if I'm in the studio with somebody and I'm taking inspiration from them, you know what I mean? But the name of the project is Freedom Summer, and I got that from 1964 Mississippi. Right. And I'm not necessarily talking about that in the album, but I just really like the name that they named it, and I wanted to kind of give it my own meaning. But I just, you know, it's just about freeing yourself, man. Freeing, like, don't, you know what I'm saying, kind of being boxed in. It may feel cliche, man, but not enough people are kind of mentally free right now. Like, I think we trapped to our devices, we trapped to a whole lot of things, trapped to people, and people are fleeting, you know what I mean? So it's like Freedom Summer is the wave. Like I had to name it that, and then the music kind of goes with it. Like whenever you like hear the music, I don't really have a filter. You know what I mean? So I think that it'll all make sense whenever the music drops.
What's the most memorable lesson that you've learned from Tip since being around him?
Man, don't stop moving, don't stop working, man. Like this man be on the move. On the absolute move. So that's definitely probably one of the most valuable things, like being around them, like being out in LA and having a long day of doing a million things, and it get later and later in the studio, and it'd be less and less people. Every 2 o'clock it'd be less people, 4 o'clock it'd be less people, 5 o'clock it literally might just be tipping the engineer, you tipping the engineer, he's still up. This going, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, you know, never stop, you know, chasing that.
How many new words have you learned since?
Time, man. Hey, man, it's funny, man, because the Hustle Gang has a thread, man, and it's funny as hell, man. So he definitely dropped some gems in there. So, but quite a few probably.
You had talked about before, like taking meetings with labels and people being interested in all of that. When was the point, and why did you decide that the independent was better for you now than going into one of these machines?
Well, really, y'all know how these majors are now, man.
For
like
sure.
Your following got to be insane. Like, and once your following is insane, then they sign you and then they ask to hear your music. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's like
ass backwards.
yeah. So it's a thing where you kind of grind until you get to that level on your own, or if you need the assistance of a major. If you decide that you want the assistance of a major, then you have that option. But for me, I'd rather keep it more grassroots and keep building my fan base, keep building the people that rock with me. So I can be able to create my own. You know what I'm saying? Create my own major situation, or when I do talk to a major, I got more leverage than they got. You know what I mean? So until then, we definitely rocking the indie road. And social media changed everything, man. Like, the people got the power now, so
Definitely.
it's just crazy.
Definitely. You said in one of your joints, you had a lyric where you said you appreciate a BET award more than a Grammy.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't understand me. And that's kind of like a thing that we have discussed on the show a ton of times. Break down like the sensibility behind
Yeah, that's crazy. That's off the IG. That's a song off the project,
right.
Off the new project. Man, just really how we'll see like attendance. You know what I mean? Like we'll see like the upper elite, black upper elite show up to certain events, and like they kind of shy away from the BET Hip Hop Awards, the awards that to me,
really
if y'all showed up, would be the ratings would be just what I'm saying, and I'm sure they have their reasons for whatever reason. I don't know. It's cool. I ain't tripping, but I'm just saying, like, until you understand that hit me when you underslave. You know what I'm saying? That's really what I meant by that line. But I think that's real. So.
Man, folks be wondering like, oh man, what happened to the Soul Train Award? What happened to this one? Like, man, y'all niggas stop going to it.
Niggas ain't going, man. But like, like the fucking Grammys, like niggas is front row. Got the.
When there was a time where they didn't even televise us on the Grammys, and we ain't talking about the 70s.
Right.
We're talking about the 90s.
90s, right. The 90s was the first. When Mike the first black people black person ever get played on TV. When at the 90s?
No, that was the 80s. That was the 80s MTV.
With the
and
Grammys, like you remember, Fresh Prince and them boycotting, and they won. Hell, Jay-Z was boycotting the Grammys on the low.
Man.
For many years. Then he didn't even talk about it until recently. So I definitely agree with that sentiment for sure, man. Any touring? I've seen you perform a couple times, man. It's definitely a dope ass show, and you definitely have hardcore fans. Any plans to tour and do some dates this summer?
Most definitely, man. We definitely are trying to put more of a college tour together for this next project, man. We definitely got some dope concepts, man. They're not fully ironed out, so I ain't gonna drop them on here. But we are definitely, because we actually, we went on tour with Tip last year, but we actually did our own tour before. It was like a 8 or 9 city college tour, man, and we just hit the road, man, and like that was probably one of my dopest experiences ever, man. So I kind of want to.
What was it about it that really hit?
That was the Culture Junkie times too.
Right.
That was in the Culture Junkie times, and really just hitting them colleges, and we had a lady that was really dope. Shout out to Tanisha with Schoolboy Agency. She kind of took us on. I'm like literally we like did it with her, and we like literally was set up to when we got to these colleges, we were able to go into their media departments, talk to the students, get to the college radio people, the people that like the little DJs is doing the college radio, and kind of really get in and play the records with them, and then go on campus, set up the DJ stand, and be rocking, like performing while the kids is walking back and forth to class and shit. Like some kids gonna be looking at you like, man, I ain't fucking with this dude.
Right.
But some kids is gonna be like, man, I'm actually fucking with this nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, it was dope because it's like, it ain't about the people that's not fucking with you. It's about the people that are, because it's about growth. You know what I mean? So it was dope to just go and you know, build. And then them same people that wasn't rocking, they'll be rocking when everybody else is. You know what I mean? So
100% true. I'd seen Maxwell get booed off the stage at Clark.
Right.
6 months later, he was the biggest star in R&B.
Right. Yeah. Nah, man. Hey, man. Whenever it's your time, man. So
are you still handing out little packages at your shows? I remember I went to one show. I forget what everything was in there, but I remember it was a Ziploc bag.
Yeah.
It had the CD in there.
Yeah.
I think it had a condom in there.
A Swisher, a Swisher, and gum.
Like a recipe for a good night.
And gum. Yeah. Nah, man. We was literally like, we was trying to figure out, because you know, we was coming out of that pass out CD culture, and like we had a method. Like, we would pass out CDs, and this is before the actual bags. We would pass out CDs, go to the club, pass out CDs, put them on people's cars, do the whole rundown, and then we would go sit in our car, wait for the whole parking lot shit. We would go through the parking lot and pick up all the ones that people threw on the ground. You know what I'm saying? We had a method, so we was like, man, there's too many on the ground. So it was like, shout out to, I think, the Nook sparked the idea. One of our homies, the Nook, and he sparked the idea, and like we kind of took it and like actually made it an actual idea to like, okay, what could make people keep these fucking CDs? Like, right. So it was like, so we put gum, condoms, and a Swisher. Like, you at least go see all that and be like, man, I'm at least keep this shit. Right. At least till I get in my car. At least make it. The goal is at least make it into the car. Because once it make it into the car, it's gonna be in there for a while. You know what I mean? And a nigga might pop it in. You know what I mean? So. I think it was memorable, man. Just marketing schemes, like we definitely got some more up our sleeves, though, man. Stay tuned. But the physical passing out CDs, I think that's dead. Yeah, man.
That's so again, what's the date for Freedom Summer?
Hey, man.
Fall.
Hey, man, yeah. Freedom Fall, yeah. Freedom Fall. Freedom Winter. This could be Freedom Winter. Nah, man, but
it's happened.
Yeah,
didn't Cruel Summer drop in winter?
Yeah, but yeah, I moved on from in my heart wanting to drop it in the summertime, because ultimately it's not even necessarily about dropping in a certain season. Like, it's more about the message. So
100%, man. Please tell people where they can find you and support you on social media.
Man, at Translee is everything. Translee. That's my real name. That's pretty much, you can find me everywhere. You can Google me at the Translee, YouTube, Translee, everything is Translee.
On all streaming services.
Music on all streaming services. M.A.O.T.P. Part 1 is out now. Part 2 is also it's pretty much, I got a lot of records there.
2020?
No. Heck no.
You drop probably like every 2 years or something.
I'm gonna stop doing that too. Yeah. I'm gonna stop doing that, man. So that's probably gonna come not too far after Freedom Summer, man. Like, it's really time to just start giving people a whole lot of music.
Yeah, man.
But it also, man, like I said, like, it's like a thing where you wanna put out the best shit, and like, you listening to all these cats, and you know, and not I don't compare myself, but I want to be greater than them. I want to be looked at as greater than a lot of artists. So it's like, I like taking my time with it.
So you don't want to be underground. I respect that.
Yeah, nah, man. But
definitely, man.
We definitely
appreciate you coming through, brother.
Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all.
Sure. Make sure y'all support this dude.
Yep.
All right, so I appreciate y'all listening once again. Make sure you follow, subscribe, rate, and review. And we'll see you next week with another dope show. Peace.